Hi, how you doing? So a really good question that's out there that a person interested in Rasta runs into pretty soon is, is Haile Selassie I Jah? Is Haile Selassie I God? Better said, is he Jah? So there's a famous interview that a radio guy on the radio asked Selassie I, said, Are you the reincarnation of Jesus? To tell all the millions of Christians all over the world that think you're Jesus reincarnated, whether you are or not, because they wanted him to deny it. But the millions of Christians. This was like in the '60s. There wasn't very many Rastas at that time, and they certainly weren't all over the world. They were just in Jamaica and some places in the Caribbean and stuff, but. So it's kind of like a trick right there, because like millions of Christians, like they don't have the right like attitude and perspective to see it, so it's kind of, who cares what they think, but anyway, so he says, no, I'm not the reincarnation of Jesus. Nobody can reincarnate as Jesus. I told the Rastafarians that. He said something along those lines. I'll leave a link in the description box of the actual radio recording so you can listen to it. So the thing is like people don't understand the difference between reincarnated and incarnated. Haile Selassie I is not Jesus reincarnated, like he says. He says, I'm not Jesus reincarnated. I try to tell Rastas that. Some of the early Rastas thought he was Jesus reincarnated, and he told them, no, I'm not Jesus reincarnated. He's not Jesus reincarnated. He's Jah incarnate. Reincarnated. Carne means flesh. In the flesh. Reincarnate. To be put back into the flesh. If somebody's dies and then is born back into the flesh, again, the same person, but born back into the flesh, they're reincarnated. But the spirit of Jah being incarnated just means that the spirit of Jah is in the flesh, but not Jesus or anybody else put back into the flesh. Not a certain personality, just the spirit of Jah, which is the Word, like we in the first chapter of John. The Word, which is all the thought energy and all the word energy. We create things with our mind. Jah is number 1 on the Sephirot. And 10 is manifested form. Number 1, 2, and 3 is above the abyss, and that's above the abyss because it's beyond us, because it's Jah, and Jah's spirit, because Jah's are words, and we create things with words, and the Word created the earth, and everything that was created by the Word. We're creating our universe, and we're connected. That's why we're connected to it, and that's Jah, and that's who Jah is incarnate. We created it through our thought energy. It all built up through different past lives and everything to make this happen, because we believe in the book of Revelations and we've been in blah, 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 So it's Jah, the spirit of all that, come into the flesh, manifested form, because we made it that way, So in a lot of ways it's beyond Haile Selassie I, who's a demigod, His human side might not understand it as well as you think at times, It's in a way I think it's even beyond Haile Selassie I, who, like I said, is a demigod. But all the other deities and all the other incarnates of Jah, happened so long ago, and we didn't have the technology of to see them recorded and tape recorded and video recorded and everything, So it gets embellished and everything, But with Haile Selassie I, because it's true and you can know it's true, you get to see what this has really been all about all along, If you could go back in time and see Jesus, he would be a lot more human-like than you thought, So Selassie I in the '60s came to Jamaica. Babylon said, let's send him to Jamaica, and they can realize he's not really Jah. And Haile Selassie I went and landed in the airplane, and the whole tarmac of the airport was just filled with Rastas. Everybody's beating drums and has signs up, "Yay, the Lion of Judah." Selassie I came out of the plane and was shocked at all the Rastas. Went back in the plane for an hour praying and crying, and his heart was touched, and didn't expect it to be quite that intense. And then finally came back out of the plane and said through an interpreter, "Holy priests and warriors are the dreadlock Rastafari. I am he." And then, and then he did all the things he did, going around and laid the white robes, like he opened the fifth seal during that visit, and he would give the white robes. He gave Rastas awards and white robes, and went around and did a bunch of things like he was supposed to with the fifth seal, and fulfilled that part of the prophecy too. The Lion of Judah would open the seals, I believe he opened the 6 seals. The 7th seal isn't open yet because the millennium hasn't started. And Jah's the king, whether it's Jesus or Haile Selassie I. I think that Jesus, the 12 tribes of Israel founded by the prophet Gad, teach us that, and Herbert Armstrong and everything, that Jesus will come on the Mount of Olives and start a UN type government thing, higher loyalty to world citizenship, secondary loyalty to national citizenship. World citizenship will finally put war behind us and abolish it, because we'll know it doesn't work, and there'll be a millennium of peace. The red dragon will be bound. That'll be Jesus, on the throne. Haile Selassie I was Jah in the character of his kingship, because there was many. That's why Jesus had a crown of thorns on his head, because they're like, "Oh, if you're Jah incarnate, how come you weren't born in Ethiopia, like it says in Psalm 87, and given a golden crown, and blah blah blah?" That doesn't sound like you. Where's your government that you're supposed to, your kingdom that you're supposed to have? And they put a crown of thorns on him. They didn't know that he later would come as the second advent, really the third advent, Melchizedek, Jesus, and then Haile Selassie I. It says, Jah always does things by 3 witnesses, It says all through the Bible, that he would come again as Haile Selassie I in the character of his kingship and do all the king golden crown stuff, And so they put the crown of thorns on him to make fun of him for that. But Jah incarnate, Jesus is Jah incarnate, and so is Haile Selassie I, but they're not reincarnations of each other. Like Haile Selassie I says. I'll leave a link in there about that. But so yeah, you can know that Jah is Jah because Jah is the person described to be Jah in the Bible, And the Bible is a scripture which is an out-of-date concept, but it still has all that thought form and all in our past and everything. We're still connected to it in the present, and it will always be part of us, because it's where we came from.